So I want to remain within the free tier of my AWS account. So what I'm going to do very quickly is just delete a lot of stuff. For example, my autoscaling group, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And I will do so the same for the remaining instances, the volumes, and the load balancers. And the reason I'm doing all these things is that I want to keep my costs under control and make sure you also have your costs under control so that you can do this tutorial within the free tier. So once you've deleted everything, just join me back. Now in my console, I'm going to go ahead and type Beanstalk. So Elastic Beanstalk is right here. And as you can see, the description is that you can deploy, monitor, and scale applications quickly and easily. So this is great. As we can see, you can get started easily in 3 steps. We're going to select a platform, then we'll upload an application, but we'll actually use a sample for this tutorial, and then we'll run it. We'll see it is very, very simple. Let's click on Get Started. And for application name, I'll call it My First Web App Beanstalk. Okay? You can have up to 100 characters and not use the /. Now for the platform, we're going to go very, very simple and use Node.js because I really like their sample application that they have. Now for application code, you can upload your own code if you know Node.js and give it a try with your own code. But if you don't know Node.js, let's just use the sample application because we know it works. Now we could go and click on configure more options, but this is for the next lecture. For now, let's just click on create application. And that's as simple. As you can see, I just specified my application name, my platform. I could have uploaded my own code, and all of a sudden I click on one button and my application is getting uploaded. So as you can see, we get this console and say it will take a few minutes to deploy your application. And it says, by the way, your application will be using an S3 bucket for your environment data. So if we go to services and go to S3 and see what happens, we can see that now we have a new bucket that was created by Elastic Beanstalk. And in this bucket, basically we can see there is a few files, and this is where we'll have all our runtime, our environments, etc., etc. This is not something for you to deal with, but it's just good for you to know that whenever you upload some code or whenever you deploy some stuff to Elastic Beanstalk, then it will create a bucket for you. So now what we have to do is just wait a few minutes until the application is created. After about 3 minutes, you should be able to get on that screen. We can see that there's a big green tick saying, okay, means that my health is working. We can say that the running version is a sample application and that we're running Node.js. As you can see, we get a bunch of recent events here as a table. Let's just go real quick to events to see everything that happened. So this will give you the list of all the events that happened in your Elastic Beanstalk. What we can see is that it created a bucket, it created a security group. So if we go to my EC2 console into the security groups, we should be seeing something. So let's go there to security groups, and we can see that this one has been created for us, and we can look at the rules. It allows traffic on port 80, so HTTP. And then we can see that it was created in EIP, so Elastic IP. So if we go to our instances, we should be seeing right here my first web app instance, and that's just another instance that I've deleted from before. So we can see our instance, and we can see that it has an Elastic IP. And if we click on this in the Elastic IP menu, we can see it right here. Excellent. And then we can see that it has created a EC2 instance, which we've seen before. And then after creating it, it says that the application is available at this entire URL. So how about we go back to our dashboard, and the URL is actually on the very, very top. Right here, I can open it in a new tab. What we see is that, congratulations, we have deployed our first Elastic Beanstalk application, and it's not running on the dedicated environment in the AWS cloud. So we see there's a big green background on the left-hand side, and then we get a bunch of links if we want to learn Elastic Beanstalk. But what we can see is that already by just doing all these things, it was created a security group, there was an Elastic IP, an EC2 instance, an S3 buckets. So a lot of stuff was already automated for us, okay? The reason we have one EC2 instance with an Elastic IP is that we're running in the simplest possible mode, in development mode. And in development mode, basically, you just get one instance. And if we update our application, the Elastic IP will just move across instances, okay? So we can see a lot of stuff on the left-hand side, and there's a lot of menus. The configuration menu, I will actually leave it to the next lecture. But if we could look at the logs, we can request the logs and click on refresh. and you can request the last 100 lines of log. And what you get is basically all the last 100 lines of log. You can download it, and here you can see all the log of what happens on the EC2 machine when the application was deployed. As you can see, a lot of things happen, but at the very end, the application gets deployed. The health of the application is basically running health checks and looking at whether or not our applications are working. So we get this monitoring capability that is really, really nice, because we can see that this instance was running for 5 minutes and is in an okay state, but we can get pending, info, unknown, no data, warning, degraded, severe. So there's a great idea of what happens. We can also see the request types, the error codes, the latency, the load average, the CPU utilization. I mean, there's a lot of good thing we get out of this health tab, okay? If we go to monitoring, we can see how many CPU utilization my instance is running, the network, and so on. We get a bunch of graphs, and that's really nice. If we go to your alarms, it's when you define alarms, and for this, you add them for your monitoring dashboard. You can manage updates, so you can update your Beanstalk automatically for OS, and you can configure this as well. Events is basically what happens when we deployed an application, so we can get all the logs of events that happened when we created our first application. And tags is if you wanted to tag your environment. So let's just go one level up to my first web app Beanstalk. And as you can see now, we went one level up, and this is the name of our application, okay? And as you can see before, and as I said, we have environments and application versions. So anytime we create an environment, we'll have a little green box here, green because it's running just fine. And every time we upload some code, we'll get an application version. So as you can see, this sample application was created, and here's the source, and we can see where it was deployed, okay? Deployed to. And then finally, you can save some configuration if you wanted to. So the idea is that here we could go ahead and click on action and create a new environment. We can also restore a terminated environment, swap environment URLs, and delete a whole application. So here we can see that we have one application with one environment only. And then if we go one level up, we can see that we have our application right here, my first web app Beanstalk, but you could go ahead and obviously on the top right here, create a new application. So here you get an idea that, oh yes, we can create many applications. Each application can have many environments, and each environment can be applied to an application version. So this is just to give you a high level overview. We're going to do a bit of more drill down into Elastic Beanstalk, but right now we just deployed one application in dev. So I hope that was helpful, and I will see you in the next lecture.